Deep in a Kentucky woods, a humble cabin stood against the winter cold. Life on the frontier was forged by hard work and the sharp edge of an axe. A young boy sought more than the simple survival of his rugged surroundings. Within those rough walls, a spark of curiosity began to burn very brightly. By the flickering firelight, he discovered worlds hidden within old books. He grew strong and tall, his limbs hardened by the constant labor of the axe. His mother's quiet presence provided a gentle light in their harsh reality. Every borrowed word became a building block for the man he was to become. He mastered the wild land, proving his strength with every heavy strike. The river carried him away from home, opening his eyes to a wider world. Ambition stirred within him as he looked toward a future beyond the woods. He found his voice among the people, speaking with a natural, raw honesty. Those who listened saw a leader emerging from the dust of the frontier. In the quiet of a general store, his stories began to weave a legacy. He turned his mind to the law, seeking justice in a land of rapid change. Across the lonely prairies, he traveled to bring order to the wilderness. In the courtroom, his words carried the weight of a man who knew the truth. A partner joined his side, sharing the burdens of a life in the spotlight. With a steady hand, he signed his name to the documents of a rising nation. The tools of his youth were left behind as he stepped into the halls of power. Dark clouds gathered over the capital, signaling a storm that would divide. He stood tall against his rivals, defending the ideals of a fragile union. Across the country, the people were torn apart by deep and bitter anger. News of conflict spread like wildfire, threatening to break the republic. Alone in the shadows, he waited for the news that would change everything. He took his oath under a gray sky, promising to preserve the American soul. The map of the nation began to fracture, spilling into a house divided. The heavy burden of leadership etched deep lines upon his weary face. He walked among the ghosts of battle, feeling the pain of every fallen son. Through the freezing rain, the spirit of the army wavered in the mud. In the war room, he searched for a path through the darkness of the fight. The cost of freedom was written in blood on the lists of the lost and gone. He offered comfort to the wounded, a tall shadow of hope in the wards. Time and sorrow turned his hair to silver, yet his resolve never broke. The simple acts of his past remained a reminder of the man he once was. With a stroke of his pen, he prepared to break the chains of the oppressed. Men debated the future of the nation while he sought a path to liberty. The iron shackles of the past were finally cast aside into the green grass. A new dawn broke for those who had only known the darkness of bondage. He walked through the ruins of war, looking for the seeds of a new peace. The long struggle ended with a handshake, bringing a close to the carnage. For a brief moment, he found rest beneath the blossoms of a quiet spring. A final journey began as the nation mourned the loss of its greatest son. Thousands stood in silence to watch the black train pass through the mist. Smoke rose into the heavens, carrying the spirit of a martyr to the ages. The axe was laid to rest, its work finished in the soil of a free land. From the white marble, his memory rose to watch over the city he saved. He sits in eternal peace, a beacon of hope for all who seek true freedom. His reflection remains steady in the water, as enduring as the Union itself. The light of his legacy continues to shine on the path toward a better world.